Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. R. Balasashireka, Assistant Professor, Department of Food Science and Nutrition, Avinashlingam Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, Coimbatore. Today we are going to see the module on sampling techniques, that is sample size and its determinations. Selection of sample which is representative of the entire population plays a pivotal role in applied statistics research. Sampling technique and determination of sample size have a crucial role in research problems. Sampling technique used in a research problem must be specific and appropriate for a particular target problem, as one technique may not help to derive solution for all problems. One important question in undertaking a research is that what should be the size of the sample, or how big or small a sample must be taken for a good survey. Hence, sample size similar to a sampling technique must be appropriate, else may lead to misleading conclusions. Generally, the sample size must not be either too large or too small, but must be of optimum size. Also, certain hidden bias may also lead to erroneous outcomes. Several factors are to be considered for determining the sample size, like size of the study population, confidence level, expected proportion and standard deviation of the outcome variable, margin of accuracy, etc. There are distinct methods for calculating sample size for different study designs and different outcome measures. After completing this module, the learner would be able to understand what sample size is and its significance in a research investigation, arrive at the size of sample for different sampling designs, determine the sample size based on different parameters. First, we will see what is a sample size. Sample size can be simply defined as the number of people to be picked to carry out a research problem and is usually represented by small n, that is alphabet n. It is the technique of electing the number of observations to be included in the sample. The main objective is to obtain both a desirable accuracy and a desirable confidence level of desired width with minimum cost. The fixation of sample size will help to draw valid and generalized conclusions. Determination of sample size varies with sampling method used. For example, in a survey sampling where the population involved is heterogeneous stratified sampling, sampling size would be different for each population. Whereas in census, the sample size and the population size must be the same. In case of experimental study, where different experimental subgroups are present, the sample size must be determined for each experimental subgroup. Generally, sample size determination may be based on the following criteria. First one is cost base. Items which are readily available and easy to collect must be chosen. Small sample size might result in wide confidence intervals or errors in testing the statistical hypothesis. Variance base. Using a target variance for an estimate to be derived from the sample eventually obtained. The last one is statistical power base. Using a target for the power of a statistical test to be applied once the sample is collected. Sample sizes are judged based on the quality of the resulting estimates. Sample size may be assessed based on the power of a hypothesis test. Sample size determination. The size of the sample must be determined based on the following criteria. Nature of the universe. The nature of the universe may be either homogeneous or heterogeneous. If the nature of the universe is homogeneous, a small sample can be used. But if the nature of the universe is heterogeneous, a large sample may serve the purpose and is termed as dispersion factor technically. Number of classes proposed. If there are many classes like groups and subgroups are formed, large sample solves the purpose, as small sample would not be a representative of the number of items in each subgroup. Next one is nature of the study. For intensive and continuous study and for technical surveys, small sample is the best, but a large sample is required for a general survey. Type of sampling. Sampling technique plays an important role in selecting the size of the sample. A small random sample is apt to be much superior to a larger but badly selected sample. Standard of accuracy and acceptable confidence level. In order to keep high the standard of accuracy and precision level, a relatively larger sample is required. To increase the accuracy double the times, the sample size must be increased fourfold. Sampling error. Increase in sample size may reduce the sampling error. Sampling error becomes zero if the size of the complete population equals the sample size, but increase in sample size increases the cost, time and efforts in data collection. Availability of finance. The amount of money available to conduct the study is also important and depends on the size of the sample. Finance should be kept in mind while determining the sample size, as larger samples may increase the cost estimates. Other considerations. The nature of units, population size, length of the questionnaire, availability of trained investigators, the sample conditions, time frame of the study are certain considerations to which a researcher must pay attention while selecting the size of the sample. Significance of sample size. In a comparative study, comparison between two groups is obtained by the means or proportions of a particular characteristic. To determine the significance between or within the groups, a statistical test is applied on the mean or proportions observed in the different groups. Here, sample size principally has an effect on the statistical power, which is nothing but a statistical test to indicate the level of significance if truly present. If the statistical test demonstrates no significant difference, then issue arises. If such negative result occurs, there may be only two possibilities. One interpretation is that the results of the statistical test is right and no significant difference statistically. That is a true negative result. Other interpretation is that the statistical test may be erroneous with actually a difference for which there was no powerful sample size to identify the difference. That is false negative result, also known as type 2 error statistically. So, adequate sample size is required to prove the significant high statistical power. Low statistical power may rise due to inadequate sample size. Now, let me see the determination of the sample size for parameters. The sample size generally depends on 5 parameters. Number 1. Basis of minimum expected difference or size effects. The statistical significance increases when the sample size is large with a less minimum expected difference. For example, if a study is designed to compare a standard diagnostic procedure of 85% accuracy with a new procedure of unknown but potentially higher accuracy, and the investigator believes that it would be a clinically important improvement if the new procedure were 95% accurate. Then the investigator would choose a minimum expected difference of 10%. The second one is estimated measurement variability. This parameter is represented by the expected standard deviation in the measurements decided within each comparison group. Statistical variability and sample size needed to detect the minimum difference are directly proportional to each other. The estimated measurement variability should be determined on the basis of preliminary data collected from a similar study population. A review of literature can also provide estimates of this parameter. If preliminary data are not available, the parameter can be estimated on the basis of subjective experience, or a range of values may be assumed. A separate estimate of measurement variability is not required when the measurement being compared is a proportion, as the standard deviation is mathematically derived from the proportion. The third one is based on statistical power. To increase statistical power, sample size must be increased. Fourth one is significance criterion, that is the p-value. Maximum p-value is considered to be statistically significant. As the significance criterion is decreased, the sample size needed to detect the minimum difference increases. The statistical significance criterion is customarily set to 5%. The last one is one or two-tailed statistical analysis. In certain cases, the difference between comparison or experimental groups is possible in only one direction. In such cases, one-tailed statistical analysis, which require a smaller sample size for detection of the minimum difference, is used than would a two-tailed analysis. The sample size of a one-tailed study design with a given statistical significance criterion, for example, alpha is equal to the sample size of the two-tailed design with a significant criteria of 2 alpha, all other parameters being equal. Now, we will move on to the criteria for selecting a good sample size. To determine the appropriate sample size, we have to consider the level of precision, the level of confidence or risk, and the degree of variability in the attributes being measured. We will see one by one in detail. First, the level of precision. The level of precision, also known as sampling error, is the range in which the true value of the population is estimated to be, and range is expressed in terms of percentage points. For example, plus or minus 5%. For example, if a researcher finds that 60% of the farmers in the sample have adopted a recommended practice with a precision rate of plus or minus 5%, then he or she can conclude that between 55% and 65% of farmers in the population have adopted the practice. The next one is confidence level. The risk level of confidence level is based on ideas of central limit theorem. The key idea is that when a population is repeatedly sampled, the average value of the attribute obtained by those samples is equal to the true population value. The values obtained by these samples are normally distributed above the true value, with some samples having a higher value and some obtaining a lower value than the true population value. In a normal distribution, approximately 95% of the sample values are within two standard deviations of the true population value. This confidence interval is also known as risk of error in the statistical hypothesis testing. In other words, this means that if a 95% confidence level is selected, 95 out of 100 samples will have the true population value within the range of precision specified. There is always a probability that the sample obtained by the researcher or investigator does not represent the true population value. Such values with extreme values are represented. This risk is reduced for 99% confidence levels and increased for 90% or lower levels of confidence. The next criteria is degree of variability. The degree of variability in the attributes refer to the distribution of attributes in a population. The sample size required is smaller if the variables are of homogeneous population. The sample size required is larger to obtain a given level of precision for a heterogeneous population. So, we can conclude that sample size plays an important role in any applied and scientific research investigation. Sample size calculation is an essential part of a study protocol or design. Researchers, with the help of a statistician, can bring about best results of a study design. Sample size acts as a centerpiece of a statistical analysis and reflects the width of the confidence interval rather than the outcome of the test of significance. Sample size must be adequate enough to detect even a small difference significantly between the groups under study. If sample size is inadequate, the power of the study becomes less with decrease in precision of results. Hence, attention to sample size will result in a more authentic, reliable results and interpretation with high statistical significance.